Tim and Tony podcast brings you
the Mild Manner Movie Review with your hosts, Tim
and Tony. On this week's episode, we will be talking about Olympus Has Fallen and White House Down.
Are you not entertained?
But tonight, we dine in hell!
Great Scott!
You play ball like a girl!
Great Scott.
We're on a mission from God.
Life, finds a way.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker.
We came, we saw, we kicked its ass.
All right. Trying this out, and I was like, oh, crap, forgot about the other one.
Play the music one first.
Yeah. It hasn't been that long.
No. All right, we'll start with our interview, like we've been doing. So, why these movies?
Why these two specific movies? Well, we could say one because we've just been doing.
Well, there's like 5 different reasons for both of these. Right. I think.
Yeah. But one of them would be
the Roland
Emmerich universe, the Roland Emmerich verse.
Yeah, that we've been
review that we're working on.
I know we've done what
almost
Patriot,
all of them. More than
1, 2, 3.
At this point, half of the movies that we ranked that one week.
Yeah, so 4 of
them. Yeah. Also, it was 4th of July, White House, July.
Yeah. Angel Has Fallen is coming out, the third movie in the Olympus Has Fallen trilogy.
Yep.
Yeah, and then we kind of went with twin movies.
Yeah,
I
guess that's the kind of term that most people.
Yeah, so movies that come out in the same year with very, very similar plots.
Yes.
Yes.
And then, among other reasons, I think we'd both seen it before, so it just made sense,
both
too.
of them. Yeah.
Okay, so which movie did you like more?
It's a tough one.
This really is.
It's so funny because they're very similar, but they're very different at the same time.
You could pick like a generic action thing and be like, all right, both of them hit it. So
yeah. But I'd have to go. I liked White House Down a little bit more.
You know what? I'm in the same boat.
Yeah. I mean, maybe
for reasons I'll get into later, but
it leans a little more into the humor.
That's exactly why.
Yeah. But yeah, so that's where I went with it.
But see, I liked Olympus Has Fallen because it was like the serious route, but he was kind of like he had his one-liners and his quips.
Yeah, they were okay. they
weren't
great.
Weren't the best, but
they didn't think too hard on those. It seems like.
No, not at all.
Yeah, but what's another twin pair of movies that you enjoy?
Oh, I really should have looked
at that list.
Yeah, well, I did look at. There was a ton.
Mm-hmm.
I did look at that list, and you didn't answer my question unless you did. Walk Hard and Walk the Line.
I don't think they came out in the same year.
Right.
I don't think you'd count those though.
Those because one's a parody,
and one parody's a lot more than just.
Right. It's not just a movie. It's like the whole thing in general.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? 2012 and no, that wasn't on the list.
No, Deep Impact and Armageddon.
That's what it was. Yeah,
that was on there. Bugs Life and
Ants.
That was a good one.
Early on, I was like, "What's the difference between
these two?"
They're the same movie.
Yeah, mine would be.
That was a long list.
Yeah, I liked Paul Blart and Observe and Report.
Yeah.
Those were two. They couldn't be more different too, which is
right.
hysterical.
Which is the funny part of it.
Yeah, but I'd pick that one or Deep Impact and Armageddon.
Right, and that's one where you're like, you wouldn't think of it because Armageddon's so much more prominent. No Strings Attached and Friends with Benefits.
I've never seen No Strings, but I did like Friends with Benefits.
I can't remember which one I've seen. Honestly, it's probably parts of both.
Yeah,
would be my guess. The Prestige and The Illusionist.
I've never seen The Illusionist.
I haven't seen either one. Oh, yeah, I figured you would enjoy that.
That one's great.
That's what Christian Bale
and Hugh Jackman and Michael Caine.
This was kind of a stretch, I thought, but The Equalizer and John Wick.
Yeah,
I did like both of them.
I don't think I've seen Equalizer.
I recommend it because I just
I don't
watched the
think so.
second one.
Yeah, because that just came out.
Yeah, it's pretty
good.
cool. Yeah, I like it.
Yeah, there was a bunch.
Mirror, Mirror, and Snow White and the
Yeah.
Huntsman. I do remember that being a bigger thing when it came out.
Yeah.
And then this one, which I liked, Cop Out and the Other Guys.
Yeah, those are
It's more a twin movie because
they're
it's just buddy cop.
buddy
movies,
cop.
Yeah.
Yeah, you could do that for every year. I think there's 2 buddy
Yeah,
cop
you
movies.
probably could.
Yeah, but there's some good ones that we'll have to do though in the
Yes.
future. Okay, let's jump right into our first segment, a Tim and Tony review of Olympus Has Fallen and White House Down.
Hold on to your butts.
This week we will be talking about 2 movies that came out in 2013 with very similar plots. And I'm going to add, and very similar roots is the wrong word.
No, that's
Origins.
No, the same origin.
Yes. Oh, yes, the same origin.
It's your trivia fact.
I wasn't going to get to it, but yes.
All right, do you want to start us off?
I will start us off. We'll do Olympus Has Fallen first. Yeah. Olympus
Alphabetical.
Okay.
That's how I thought
I think
about
I
it.
switched it up later too, but so I'll do my top
Yeah, we're doing
3 parts of that.
with honorable mentions.
Yeah, with honorable mentions. So my honorable mention is the same for both, but the name of they say the name of the movie.
Yes.
Olympus Has Fallen more so on the dot.
Yeah, the guy that's dying.
Yeah.
Roma or whatever.
Roma, yeah.
Yeah.
He says it a couple times. And then the cast of this movie. Just like the main cast and then also
the cast is crazy in both of these
both of these movies,
Yeah.
they really filled them out almost perfectly.
Yeah.
Like
a lot of big names in both.
A lot of big names. They all work together really nicely.
Mhm.
That's one of my points for the other one, but we're sticking with Olympus Has Fallen. So my number 3 for that is that the story, it sets itself up for sequels. Not that
White House
Down doesn't or can't, but this one's more. You get more of you get more of his story, like his background with the president, with training the family, knowing the wife, all of that,
Mm-hmm.
and then even with his wife, like you get a
little bit of background.
Yeah,
there.
you're getting like, maybe they'll get back together now, or whatever. So you get it sets itself up more. My number 2 is that it's kind of a stretch, but you get a satisfying killing of the bad guy, so Kang, and then his mini army of like 60 guys or something. And by satisfying, it's like it's Gerard Butler taking on literally a mini army.
Yeah, a lot more guys.
It's a lot more guys, and he does it more efficiently, I would say.
Yeah, for the most part.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm not going to take your favorite part, but like when there's like storming at the beginning of the movie,
Mm-hmm.
it's like it's a much more coordinated. Like, okay, you got to do your part, these parts with like I said, like 60 guys.
Yeah.
So it's impressive in that way. And then my number 1 is that it's just a fun and thrilling action movie. Like it's one of those. You're just sitting there having fun with it. You're like, oh, okay, you could kind of see how it might happen, but it's definitely a stretch of like them being able to infiltrate the White House and take over everything and do this all step by step. But it's just a fun popcorn summer blockbuster for me.
I agree. I'll do my top 3 for that one then. Honorable mention cast, like we said. Just a lot of character actors too that you see in the background. They did a good job. The opening scene though is another one. Where you get the background of he's the head.
Yeah, he's the guy.
Head Secret Service member and friends with the president.
Right.
And
which I know I've seen this movie. I definitely have.
Mhm.
But like watching it, I'm like, I must have just only seen it on like TV.
Yeah.
Because there were parts where I'm like, I don't remember this. Like, did something hit the windshield? Did someone cause the
Something-
crash?
Yeah, they never explain that.
That never really goes.
It seems like something caused it.
That's what I thought.
Yeah, but they never go into it.
That's kind of why I put it like it sets up the sequels.
Yeah,
that's kind of what the third one's about. Is like someone sets them up.
Yeah.
So,
my number 3 is the final fight with Kang, and I'll throw in there like him and Forbes fighting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you just all right now, redeem yourself. Tell him I'm dead. That's great.
I have
like
a couple final thoughts, notes on that.
Yeah, him stabbing Kang in the head though with the knife is great.
Telling him,
Tell him beforehand,
before
like, I'm going to stab you in the head, is great. Number 2 is him interrogating the terrorists when I think they both are laughing and he just stabs the one guy. He's like, all right, so now are you going to tell me? And then I think, what is it? He gets all the information. And I think one of my quotes is that one right after that. Yeah. So we'll talk about that after. And then number 1 is the taking over the White House when, like, the giant plane shooting down everything.
Oh,
and then taking out everybody. And then
they gloss over
ambushing.
how they got that plane, but that's okay.
Did they? Yeah,
I don't remember them explaining. How did you get an AC-130
and getting it that close, like
without
multiple fighter pilot jets coming in,
exactly,
not just 2. Yeah, but that's awesome. And then him like having to fight his way through everybody to get in, and like running from the Treasury building, and and then like what was it? The garbage trucks with just like the machine guns in there is awesome. That whole scene is great though. Yeah, it's the most action of the movie, I think.
Yeah, I would say so.
But those are my 3.
Okay, so moving to White House Down, my honorable mentions is also the name of the movie. There's, I think it's like one of the fighter jets or something. He says the White House is down.
Yeah,
or like the White House is down or something like that. So, but they still say it. So I give it credit. The cast in this movie, the main cast for sure. I'll get to a point later, but like the background cast too. Like Captain Singh is one of the guys from The Flash.
Where is he?
He's one of the guys in the elevator.
Oh yeah,
like, unloads all the stuff.
Is he the one that's like? It's an old. Is it that?
It's an old version.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Lance Reddick, so the general is the guy from John Wick, the concierge.
Oh yeah.
He's like that guy. Yes, that's the same guy.
Yes,
and then I'm gonna butcher this name, but Falk Henschel. He plays Mata, like the third guy in line. But he's he's Hawkman.
Yeah, and he looks just like Jai Courtney.
Yeah, Jai Courtney, or I was thinking Joel Kinnaman. Either one of those two, they all look the same.
They all look exactly the same. Yeah, but he is Hawkman. Yeah,
and I didn't know that when I looked him up. I'm like, why do I know
this?
Familiar?
Oh, that's funny.
And then my number 3, that this is more of like a buddy cop movie, but it's slightly more serious
than a buddy.
Yeah, like buddy cop. There's really not world-ending, threatening stakes.
Mm-hmm.
This does, but there's still enough humor in it to keep it going. My number 2 is that while both movies do kind of touch on it, this one has more of like the White House history, like presidential history.
Mm-hmm.
So like referencing like, Abe Lincoln did this, or JFK did that.
And they both mention the War of
1812,
when the White House. They both mention that's
almost like identically. And then my number 1 is the main character chemistry in this movie. So Channing Tatum and Jamie Foxx, great. Channing Tatum and Maggie Gyllenhaal, great. Basically, anyone with Channing Tatum works perfectly. And even like all the other actors together, like playing off of each other.
Woods and Jason Clarke.
Yes,
them two together.
The dad from Step Brothers.
Yeah.
See, I should know his name, but that's
like Richard
something.
Yeah, can't think of it though.
But yeah, just like their chemistry.
The dad from Step Brothers.
Whoever put this group of people together did a fantastic job.
Yes, and I will piggyback off that by my honorable mention with the cast. Another one with, just star-studded.
Oh yeah.
Even some of the terrorists, like the main like neo-Nazi guy, has been in a bunch of stuff.
In a bunch. Yeah.
Yeah, just all together great. Wait, I'm reading this one. Oh, taking over the White House, and this one is an honorable mention. I was getting confused.
I was gonna say yeah.
Because it's so different. It's more stealthy.
Yeah.
And like them going in and using silencers instead of just ambushing the White House. But I like the way they did it, and just different enough that it still works.
Yeah. They both have scenes where it's like, oh, let's fly these helicopters, and it all gets shot down.
My number 3 is Donnie the Guide.
So good.
Just like a random role for like a note. I've never seen that guy in anything else.
Besides Independence Day Resurgence, he was Floyd.
He was really?
He was Floyd. The guy who is with Jeff Goldblum and goes to like.
Oh, that's him.
Yeah.
I like him better in this.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'd never seen him in anything.
Besides
that,
yeah. But like, I don't know. He's got some great lines, like when he takes the guy out with the clock, and then was it, tour's over, and he cocks the shotgun. Just great.
That's probably one of those where he definitely didn't have as many lines besides like the tour guide stuff, and then he just kept killing it.
And then was he walk up to the one guy and he's like, "Can you please be respectful of the priceless artifacts?" He's like, "All right, I'll sit down." Everyone, he's screaming, and the helicopter comes right into his face. It's great. My number 2 is the fight in the kitchen. It's kind of like that whole fight, though, like in the residential area. I think they kill 2 guys, or Channing Tatum kills one, and Jamie Foxx kills the other.
Yeah.
When he's like, "Shoot him!" And he's like, No, don't shoot him. It's like, "Now shoot him!" And then he finally gets away, and he shoots a guy. But that whole scene, and he puts the Jordans on right before it is great. Just really good in those scenes. Then my number 1 is like the buddy cop chemistry of Jamie Foxx and Channing Tatum. Works great.
They really nailed it.
Mm-hmm.
That was one of those when I think it was around 21 Jump Street when Channing Tatum was just killing everything he was in. And like, he was hilarious. And
this is like one of the I think it was, I don't know, he hasn't been in too many like real action movies since like this or G.I. Joe. Yeah. Like they've been very leaning on the comedy.
Yes, more comedy focused with some action.
Some action, yeah, but like this was kind of the last bigger action movie that he did, I think. But it was great. I liked both of them in this. Yeah,
they were both good. They're both enjoyable. Because usually when you get 2 movies like this, one's just
awful. Yeah,
but one's just so bad.
But no, both of these, I mean, they're different enough in style ish, and
exactly, because
like,
essential plots almost identical.
Yeah, pretty much the same. Speaking of the plot, instead of doing complaints or problems, which we can do at the end if I don't really.
Which I was gonna say, as I was watching the 2 movies, I had more problems than I've ever had in any movie.
I mean, there was a few that I could think.
There was a few, but like besides the obvious ones.
Yeah, but we're gonna talk about some of the similarities and differences of these movies.
You want to just switch off, or you do similarities? I'll do differences.
I'll do similarities and you do differences. So the first one that I thought of was that the Speaker of the House in both these movies becomes the president at one point, which is pretty funny. There's also a disgruntled Secret Service agent that in both of these, Walker and Forbes,
that turns on.
Yeah, that both of them use their knowledge to help
to help the entire plan,
which is the only way that it seems
any
plausible.
of that would have worked. Yeah.
Both villains. This one was kind of a stretch, but both villains wanted to blow up / launch the U.S. nukes.
Yeah, that's pretty much
anything standard for that.
Anything having to do with like the nuclear.
Both have children in danger.
Yes. These last three, as I was watching, I'm like, boom, boom.
Yeah. Both have children in danger. So Channing Tatum's daughter and the president's son. Which both survive.
Yes.
Both get watches. This is a good one. Yeah. And one saves.
One plays a huge
role. Abe Lincoln took another bullet for me. That was a great line.
See, like that's probably one of those that just kind of happened on.
Yeah. And then President Asher gets one from his wife in the beginning.
And that's like the gift he hangs on.
Yeah. And then the last one is both the directors of the Secret Service are both women.
Yeah.
Yeah,
because
wouldn't Walker be the director?
Okay, sure, but
she was
Maggie Gyllenhaal was like running everything.
Yeah. Okay, I agree.
I would assume she becomes it after he
tries to blow up the world.
because he was retiring anyway, so
she was
probably would have been the next.
Yeah.
See, so yeah,
it's still. I agree.
It's a tiny stretch.
It's a tiny.
Okay, now for differences, the Speaker of the House in White House Down is a bad guy.
Like the main one.
Yeah.
One of the main ones.
The one that kind of...
But you don't find out till the
end.
Right,
yeah, you really don't. The last scene, you don't find out that it's him until...
Yeah.
I mean, I think knowing...
Well, when he decides to do the airstrike...
and then doesn't say anything afterwards,
You kind of get a feeling that he's not... Because they keep talking about someone else to be funding this. Yeah.
They like laid everything out, but you'd really have to see everything to try and figure that out. Another one is that Banning has to fight his way into the White House, and whereas Cale was already in the White House when the attacks happened.
Yeah.
And then another one was that Olympus Has Fallen was North Korean terrorists, whereas this one was American terrorists.
Homegrown.
Homegrown terrorists. As the bad guys or villains. And then the last one, Banning was already in the Secret Service and like one of the top Secret Service guys.
Yeah, one of the top.
Whereas Cale is just trying to get in. He still had a pretty I'm not even going to say fairly high ranking, but he still had a pretty decent security gig.
Yeah, and they gave him some background, so and he was in the military and stuff.
Yeah, the military experience. Yeah. So where they both have experience, just different types, and then where it both pays off to help them in the movie.
Oh, here's one of my problems. Your first quote. It's a funny line, but that's a problem.
Yeah,
I'll
you're
tell
right.
you why after. You know why.
I could probably figure it out because as I'm watching, I'm just like, all right, say this other one. But yeah, so now we're going to move to favorite quotes.
I got to remember the one problem I had. I think I got it.
You think you remember?
Yeah, it's from Olympus Has Fallen, so remind me.
Okay. I will. So my first, we'll do the same.
Olympus Has Fallen first, and then I think we have two of each.
Yeah, I kind of kept it to two of each. All right, so my number one is it's the end of the movie when they're putting in like the failsafe code to shut everything down, and even like speaking of cast, like the guy giving the code. He's one of those background guys who's
that's
like
always in everything. Yeah.
But he's giving the code and he goes hashtag, and Mike Banning's like, "What?" He just says hashtag, and then what's her
Jacobs?
Yeah,
Lynn Jacobs.
Yeah, but who's the actress?
Oh, Angela Bassett.
Angela Bassett. She's like shift 3.
Yeah. Which, all right. First of all, this guy's working for.
How many years?
In the Pentagon, and they would never say hashtag.
No, they would say pound. If anything, it would be the pound sign.
Yeah, pound
also,
sign.
why would the code be that impossible? I get it; it's supposed to be like high security, but if you're trying to shut it down, that should be like 1, 2, 3.
Yeah. Yeah, that's.
But I thought it was good because it's like she understands him, like what he would be able to do, or how he would recognize that. And then my second quote is Banning talking with one of the generals, who also character actor as a general and high-ranking guy.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, classified? Really? Well, right now, I believe I have the proverbial need to fucking know. Because whereas, like, he's the only one giving them intel. He's the only one that knows what's going on.
All right, my two from Olympus Has Fallen. First one is from Angela Bassett when he like just, I think it was right after he interrogated the two guys.
Yeah.
And she's like, is he alive? And then Banning goes, now ask me a serious question. And like keeps talking because like she knows. She knows exactly
he's
what
dead.
Yeah. And my other one is when the generals yell, it's like, I'm giving you a direct order. Banning's, newsflash, asshole, I don't work for you. I love how he's just like yelling at everybody the whole time.
He's so nonchalant. Like, he knows exactly who everyone is in that room.
Yeah.
Like, he knows what everyone's supposed to be.
Yeah.
He's just like, I don't care. Okay, so my quotes for White House Down is kind of in the early beginning of the movie, I'd say.
Right after the takeover.
Yeah, right after the takeover, Kale picks up a radio, is like listening in on them, like where they're at, and they're like, oh, you know, it's through the library, down the stairs, and then he turns the corner, he's like, oh shit, that's a library. He's like walking in like, this is stupid, why am I walking in here? I should not be here. But it's just that, like,
and like as soon as they say it, he like turns and sees his like just books everywhere. He's like, ah, damn it.
It's like, son of a bitch, I know what I gotta do, but they had to say it right now.
Yeah.
And then my other one's kind of like a movie long quote almost. When they're on the tour, Donnie goes like, oh, what do you guys want to see at the White House? And some tourist lady goes, I want to see the tunnels that JFK snuck Marilyn Monroe in. He's like, those tunnels don't exist. Yeah. And then later on in the movie, Kale and the president are like stuck underground, and they're trying to get out.
Yeah.
And Affinity goes, there's a series of tunnels. JFK used them to sneak Marilyn Monroe in. And Kale goes, I thought that was a myth. And the president goes, it's true. And he says, Donnie's going to be pissed.
He's going to be pissed.
Just like keeping the through line of the characters.
All right, my two is Kale when he's doing the interview. There's supposed to be two agents in there, and the one behind keeps like chuckling or laughing, making noises.
Yeah.
Like, Special Agent Todd keeps making those noises or making those sounds. I'm gonna start looking at him, and he's like all pissed because this guy's just laughing at him. And my other one is when they're in the motorcade car just doing donuts on the front lawn. He like they finally get the rocket out, and I love it. He's like, oh, he's hitting him with the rocket. He's like, God damn it! It's like, I'm trying to drive here.
You not hit me in the head with a rocket launcher.
They finally shoots like the gate open. Yeah. He's and the president's like, I lost the rocket launcher. It's like, you lost? How do you lose a rocket launcher? And he's like freaking out.
It's like one of the biggest things. Like, how do you drop?
Yeah. But those are my quotes. Yeah, there's some good ones. I think White House Down has some better ones.
Right, yeah.
Funnier.
Olympus Has Fallen is more like
him just swearing
Yeah,
at people.
him just yelling like, I'm going to kill you or stuff like that. But now let's move on to some TNT trivia about the movie, starting with Who Am I?
Truth is, I am Iron Man.
I'm Spartacus! I'm Spartacus!
I'm Batman.
I'm Wayne Brady Benz!
I am your father.
I am vengeance. I am the night. I am Batman.
I am the Clit Commander!
I am Groot.
Yes, I'm Batman.
I'm rich, biatch.
Okay, so this week we're gonna do one from each movie. You want to do?
We'll do Olympus Has Fallen first.
Yeah, we'll do Olympus Has Fallen first, and then we'll do White House Down. So my Who Am I? I am known for Rogue, Good Will Hunting, Dazed and Confused,
you bastard,
and Too Fast, Too Furious.
Cole Hauser.
we did it?
Yeah.
We finally did it? That was also one of my notes. Bad guy, Too Fast, Too Furious was one of my notes.
See, I recognize him from Good Will Hunting like right away. That's the one thing I remember.
And then now that I looked
for.
at Dazed and Confused, he was like
he's one of the
main one of the main
like,
bullies. Yeah,
seniors.
Yeah. Let's see some interesting facts about him. He.
Do you want me to take these?
Yeah. I mean, I have them, but you probably have them ready.
Yeah.
And are they about the WB?
Yeah, you could do that one. I got another one.
Okay.
I only have two, but...
then do your two, and then...
his maternal great-grandfather was Harry M. Warner, one of the founders of Warner Brothers Studios.
That was the one I was going to take, but that's okay.
And then, like, his whole family is super famous.
I was going to say, they're all...
It's crazy. But he grew up in California, Oregon, and Florida, and he became friends with Ben Affleck and Matt Damon during shooting of School Ties, which that cast is like ridiculous. Yeah, like Brendan Fraser's like the lead. Like there's like the list goes on of just people, like it's like their first big movie that they all got.
That would probably explain why he's in
Good Will Hunting.
And wasn't Ben Affleck was in Dazed and Confused, so
I forgot about that. I forgot that he's in that. I haven't seen that in a while. I need to watch it again.
And my other fact, he dropped out of high school.
All right.
Reportedly.
All right, so White House Down.
Let me go to White House Down now.
Can we go 2 for 2?
We might have to stop trivia completely at that point. That would be amazing.
I swear, if you have mine, I'm going to kill you.
All right. So for my White House Down.
I have a feeling you have it.
Let me get through this and then we'll try. I don't think I'll be able to. All right. I am known for Date Night.
You son of a bitch. It's Jimmy Simpson. That is mine.
Yep.
He is the only other person besides Mark Strong that I know that only has one known for movie. Oh, that's funny.
Perfect. Okay, I have one here. Or I have two. If you don't have any.
I have two.
He was roommates with...
That's my one.
Charlie Day in both New York and Los Angeles.
Yep.
And he was offered a role in Live Free or Die Hard, 2007 movie, which he turned down to star in a Broadway adaptation of his own screenplay, The Farnsworth Invention.
Yeah, mine's just he prefers theater to film. I think one of his quotes was that he likes that, like, no one can really change what happens on the stage in the theater, whereas when you film something for a movie, your character can change with editing. And,
you could be completely out of a movie at that point.
Yeah.
No, that's
2 for 2.
That is fantastic.
I figured Jimmy Simpson was going to be here, so, but I couldn't pass up the one.
The one.
Yeah.
I don't remember him in Date Night.
He is one of the guys chasing them. He's like a dirty cop with
oh, okay. Now
I had to think about it because I was like, I don't remember him in that at all. But now some random facts about the movies in general.
I kind of just did.
It looks like one of each.
One of each, and then pretty much
double.
So mine is Angela Bassett only took her part because she always wanted to work alongside Morgan Freeman. And I think it was this one where the director wanted it.
It was originally written for a guy,
right.
But then I think they wanted her in
I think she came in for a read or something.
Yeah, so then they changed it to fit
to
her.
be her, yeah. My second one is that the terrorists seek something called the Cerberus Codes. In Greek mythology, Cerberus is the three-headed dog that guards the gates of the underworld. It keeps those who have died from escaping across the river Styx. Now, this is a twofold one because, as you know, the guards of the underworld, the god of the underworld is Hades, who was James Woods.
Yeah.
Separate movies, but still made the connection because they were the same movie and
yep.
Same but different.
Same
but still
but
same.
Same but different.
And then my last one is the book by author Vince Flynn, Transfer of Power, was the basis for both of the movie plots used in White House Down and Olympus Has Fallen. Along with one of yours, which you won't get into yet.
One of my trivia? Yeah. So my first one is I just have box office comparisons because I thought
that's actually a really good one.
Yeah. So Olympus Has Fallen's budget was $70 million, estimated.
Mm-hmm.
White House Down's budget was $150 million.
So twice.
Yeah,
twice as much.
Honestly, I don't see. I think I would have guessed the other way. I guess the lawn scene, the exploding driving around.
I can tell you why it was so much more because they filmed completely on a blue screen.
Oh, for White House Down.
For White House Down, they did not shoot anywhere. It was all sets they made or CG.
Okay, that makes sense. The opening weekend for Olympus was $30.3 million. And that opened. That was actually the first one to come out this year, March 24th. The opening weekend for White House Down was only $24.8 million, so a little less, and that was June. That was like mid blockbuster.
That's a blockbuster time, yeah.
So I wonder, it must have been up against something though. Let's see. The gross U.S. for Olympus Has Fallen was $98.9 million. Gross U.S. for White House Down was $73 million, and then the worldwides for Olympus was $161. Compared to White House Down, which was $205. So Olympus Has Fallen made money.
its money back generally because usually they say it's like double your budget with marketing.
Yeah, where White House Down didn't.
I will tell you the other movies that released in June of 2013.
What were they?
Oh, I clicked on something I shouldn't. Another page is loading. Oh, really? Man of Steel, The Heat, Sandra Bullock and The Purge, World War Z, Monsters University, The Internship, and This Is the End.
Oh, this faced off against some good ones.
That was a lot of great movies.
Oh, that's another twin one. Was This Is the End and The World's End.
The World's End, yeah.
Yeah, this faced off against some good ones. All right, but then my last one is that both movies were influenced by Die Hard, and then just a couple scenes. Kale wears the same shirt as John McClane.
Yeah.
Also, they're in an elevator shaft.
There's a lot of very similar.
And then one of my favorite. Actually, I was gonna put this as my favorite, but then I decided to do it in trivia.
So trivia, yeah.
Talk about it again, or talk about a couple other things, but the scene with Forbes and Banning when he comes up and pulls the gun on him. He's like, oh no. He's like, I've been roaming around or something. Yeah. It's like the exact scene with Hans and John. He lights a cigarette and everything, and then Banning realizes that he's in on it. It's a very similar scene.
It is very similar scene.
Yeah, I like that scene a lot though.
It's good.
Yeah.
Since we're getting to final thoughts, that's something I wrote about.
Is that scene?
Is something about that scene?
But final thoughts.
Final thoughts. You go ahead.
Yeah, I did watch London Has Fallen.
I know I've seen it too, but I can't remember.
I liked it.
I can't remember any of it.
I don't know if I liked it more. About the same, but I like that he was with the president. It's like they took parts of White House Down that I liked and threw them in there because he's like with the president the whole time.
And I keep getting confused with Law Abiding Citizen, which was another
very different movie, though.
Yes, very different movie, but also still a great movie.
Very, very good.
Isn't that Jamie Foxx too?
Yeah, that is Jamie Foxx. He went from president to lawyer to take out the Secret Service guy. Yeah, but I liked it, and I think Angel Has Fallen looks pretty good.
Yeah.
The trailer looks really good on that one.
Yeah. For my final thoughts, I have a bunch, so I'm going to run through them kind of quick. After looking through the trivia and stuff, but this is where the girl from Independence Day Resurgence looked familiar from. Because I was like, wow, I know I've seen this girl before, and then watch this, I'm like, boom, that's it.
And Roland Emmerich just likes to cast the same people
in all his movies. Yep. And another one from White House Down was that it's like the classic map/directions written on your arm. So like the one bad guy, the redheaded bad guy in the beginning.
Oh yeah.
Like he had like the door number or whatever written on
combination and locker number.
Just like a classic Ocean's 11 when it's on. And then for Olympus Has Fallen, as you can see, I have
notes.
Oh no. Oh, I hit 3, so I don't. But I have notes down here. They'll be seeing the just like the trailer. But it had an early title card where it was like 10 seconds and we were into the movie.
For
Olympus Has Fallen.
Okay.
These are all for Olympus Has Fallen as I was watching it. But it's like right early on, it's like boom, title Olympus Has Fallen, and we're right into the movie. A quote I liked was, "I'll pick the small one, the classic look for a classic lady," when he's telling the wife.
Yeah.
The CG wasn't great, but it was okay for the time, probably. Like it's good overall, but some scenes where it's like, okay, it's clearly not Washington D.C.
Yeah.
But still good. Another just comment was he leaves and everything goes to shit in 18 months. Like when he leaves, everything's just a mess.
Yeah.
But the list of guys they had was like 70 people of like who they had on like the Secret Service, and they only have 4 left. So like they just kept funneling guys out the door. Even he was like, "What are you doing?" Yeah. Clearly, he didn't train any of them. So.
I know they just run into a bottleneck.
And then this is kind of to your point. Forbes was a genius. He had like a genius plan to be like, "What are you doing here, man? Like this is crazy, right? Everything that's happening." But he fucked it up. He just had to
say the guy's name.
Like he had it. Like he was totally in on it.
Even like he could have been like, "Oh, I interrogated this guy."
Right.
Would have been.
He could have played it
froze.
off. Like he had it, but he just had to make small talk. Be like, "Hey, so yeah, this Kane guy." It's like,
yeah.
I never said his name. And then the villain face-off was cool. And then arm bars are a super popular move in literally the last like 4 movies I've seen. The finishing move is an arm bar of some sort to get the.
Everyone finishes with the arm bar.
It seems like it's like the easiest move they could teach an actor to do.
Oh, also, I remember my complaint from Olympus Has Fallen. The whole thing predicated on the president deciding to take the prime minister into the bunker with him.
That's exactly right.
It's not protocol.
There's even a line.
What was their backup if they followed protocol then? Like, I guess eventually get into it. They had bombs and stuff, but like,
right, but they clearly would be able to blow their way in.
But
everything would have been done by then.
I bet King was just like, "Oh man, this is working better than I thought."
the original plan was probably like to blow in, and he's like, "Oh shit, this is easy."
Walked us right in here.
We should have just asked to come down here.
Yeah. Yeah, but the whole thing predicated on that.
Yeah,
like,
and you're right. They even did mention it.
If they didn't say anything,
This is not protocol.
If they wouldn't have said that line, I'd been like, okay. This makes.
I could see that.
Yeah, they would bring in the high-ranking,
official,
political, official.
You're absolutely right.
Yeah, but they went out of their way to make sure like this is not what we normally do. Yeah, so I just thought that was funny.
Yeah, that is a good one.
Yep. All right, recasting. So we'll pretend that we're in charge of, for me, time and space. Yours, I guess.
Mine just
actually could work.
Yeah, time and space.
All right, so
time and space, because some of mine, my second one, are
a little
like 10 years old.
Yeah. All right, so we'll do Olympus Has Fallen first. You go first.
Okay. So my Olympus Has Fallen. I think we're gonna try and kind of stick to themed recast. It's fun,
unless it's like do like
impossible
just a modern day.
Yeah,
which is still a theme, I guess.
Yeah. But I do like this. The theme.
You're very specific.
Yes, well, because I started with just Australians.
Okay.
Like Australian actors.
I thought you like had gotten a few women in, and then like you were just like, oh, they're all Australian.
No.
You started with Australian.
So it was. I'll start with what I already or originally had. So it was Hugh Jackman. I was just gonna try and work the Hemsworth brothers in. Eric Bana was the president. Joel Edgerton and Sam Worthington were in there because they look identical. I was maybe gonna think about Hugo Weaving.
Yeah.
And then there was one face I saw, which is now not on this list. That's like, oh wait, he was too. But then I stopped and switched to gender flipped Australians.
Okay.
So the roles are gender flipped and they're all Australian.
Got it.
So for banning, I went with Margot Robbie. President Asher, I went with Nicole Kidman.
Okay.
For Forbes, I went with Rose Byrne. So kind of like,
a good one.
I think Spy, where she plays like the evil,
bad,
bad. For King, I went with Kate Blanchett.
I could see that. Yeah.
For Speaker Trumbull, I said Naomi Watts. The Secret Service Director Jacobs, I went with Hugh Jackman. And then for Roma, I went with Isla Fisher. Or Isla Fisher.
Yeah. Matching the redheads. Guess he's kind of got red hair.
Yeah, kind of.
Yeah. Brownish red.
It was more like I wanted her somewhere.
I wanted her somewhere.
And it worked.
All right. So mine, I went with actors of the 60s and 70s.
So time and space.
Yes, time and space. And they're all, imagine they're the same age as the person that was originally playing it.
Yeah.
So, because there's some that are bouncing around where, like, their ages would not make sense at all.
What, your number 6, like, at the end, or?
Oh, yeah. For him, I actually did. I was thinking, I'll tell you where I was thinking.
That kind of could be, because
it could be either, I could think he could be either or, but.
Because that role is kind of like, can be either way.
Yeah. But for banning, I went James Garner. I was thinking of, like, Great Escape. He had that look, like action star look. Where he's a big guy too. President Asher, I went Robert Redford just because Watchmen, he's president. Forbes, Clint Eastwood. I think I could see him being the bad guy. Yeah. Kang, I had two choices. I went with Bruce Lee, but like he's kind of small to be fighting James Gardner, who's I think he's like 6'4".
But he probably still could take him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I see what you mean.
Or I would go with, because I feel like they wouldn't be fighting North Koreans in the 60s or 70s.
No, it would definitely be
Russians. Yeah. So I'd go Charles Bronson.
Absolutely be Russians.
Yeah. So Charles Bronson would take over for that role. Trumbull, I went with John Wayne, like an older John Wayne. The director Jacobs, I went with Marlon Brando. I guess you could. I mean, I was picturing him from like Superman as Jor-El.
Okay,
like
not
just
like
older,
not like Godfather. Like
Even then, I could still picture him as Godfather doing that, though.
See, he could be doing that wrong.
But in my head, it was more of Superman, like a little older than Godfather. But either or would work, I think. And then Roma, I went with Paul Newman. I saw a picture where they looked very similar, actually. I was like, I actually didn't have Roma on there until I saw the picture of Paul Newman. I was like, oh, he would work perfect there.
I was going to say, for White House Down, there was one that you didn't have that when I saw him, I'm like, I need to put this.
I saw you put that right away.
That was the first
It was
one
the
I
only
had.
thing you had for both movies. I thought that was pretty funny.
It's typically how I start my my recasting. So, like we were saying, for White House Down, my theme was TV show crime procedural stars. Also very specific.
Yes.
And all because of my number 8.
Yes. And I do have an opinion on your 7. I like your 7, but
you're right, yeah.
I think you'll like my switch for it.
I was going to say, I think I could have picked someone else, but I had to.
I'll tell you my pick, and I think you'll like it.
Okay. So, my number 1 for Kale, I went with Nathan Fillion. He was in Castle. You know what?
He was in a bunch of...
I was in a bunch... I think I'm going to use their roles...
From those
From
movies?
the shows.
Okay.
Yeah. For President Sawyer, I went with Mark Harmon from NCIS.
Okay.
That's
a good one.
For Finnerty, I went with Amy Jo Johnson.
Was this your second pick?
As I was going through, I'm like, oh, this is perfect.
That's a good one. I like that.
Amy Jo Johnson from Flashpoint. For Stens, I went with Shamar Moore from Criminal Minds.
I think I know who that is.
He's now on...
I saw a picture. Is he in SWAT?
Yeah, he's now the lead guy in SWAT.
Okay.
He left to do
that.
SWAT.
Okay.
Yeah. For Walker, I went with David Boreanaz, or however you say it.
Yeah, the Nathan Fillion
look-alike. the guy in the sky.
And
Angel
Buffy
from Bones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Angel, Buffy, that guy. Donnie the Guide.
I just realized who this is.
I went with David Krumholtz from Numbers.
Isn't he Bernard from Santa Claus?
Yes.
That's a good one.
His best role ever.
He's in. I love him in Walk Hard.
Yeah.
He's
in.
He's in like a lot of those.
Too.
Yeah, he's in a lot of those comedies. I like him in those.
For Tyler, I went with Jimmy Simpson from Psych. I just had to keep it.
Okay. I
would have just. And it's actually, they're very similar characters to begin with.
To begin with, Mary Lightly and him.
Yeah.
See, I think I would have switched this. I would have kept it Psych, but just did James Roday. I think would be good.
Oh, okay, yeah, he could do a villain.
Sean as a as a hacker. I think it would be great.
That would be a good one. You're right. And then my one that I don't think you have for Agent Hope. So one of the other guys on the staff.
Yeah.
I'd go with Tim Roth from Lie to Me.
They look. It's
very similar.
Exactly. I knew that's why you picked him.
I'm sure the first. That's usually how I do recast.
Oh, that.
If
looks
I
like
see
that
someone
guy.
who looks like someone, I'm like, boom, they're playing them.
Yeah.
Because I think the first time I saw this movie, I'm like, I think that is Tim Roth, but it's not. It's the guy that looks like him.
Yeah. All right, so my White House Down. I stuck with I just did 60s and 70s. Again, but Kale.
I do like this one though.
Yeah.
There's several names that I'm very happy you included.
Yes. Kale, I went with Steve McQueen. He was the reason I did the 60s and 70s.
60s, yeah.
I had him at first at Banning. I was like, he doesn't fit that.
Yeah.
So I went with Kale. It's more of a comedy action, but he still could do it.
Yeah.
And then President Sawyer went with Dustin Hoffman because they were in Papillon together and they worked together very well. Finnerty, I went with Margot Kidder, Lois Lane. I thought that was a good one.
That's another good one.
Stens, I went with James Caan.
That's one of them that I really like.
That's a good one. Walker, this one I really like too. Robert Vaughn, just because he's always the villain. I guess it would be a giveaway though. He was in. He was the villain in Superman 3, but he was in Bullet.
A lot of Superman.
Yeah.
even you're like, even later, which we haven't gotten to yet.
It was only 3 Superman people out of however many.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
That's
and he was in
guy.
Basketball though. He was in that.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's a good villain.
I mean, he's the Man from U.N.C.L.E., the TV show.
Oh yeah. Donnie the Guide, I went with Jerry Lewis. That's it. I think, and they kind of even look the same. And the Tyler, I have Gene Wilder.
My other favorite one.
See, I thought I was gonna. At first, I had him as Wilder and Jerry Lewis as the guides, and I couldn't. And then I was like, oh wait, no, the Tyler would be perfect. So
wait, he could still play this role.
Yeah, so Wilder as Tyler. That'd be funny.
Okay, now it's time for us to rank our top 5 White House destruction movies.
That's a lot of Roland Emmerich still, but
mostly only. Because trying to Google this is interesting, and I'm sure I'm on a list now somewhere.
I'm sure I'm on a list somewhere. Best way to destroy the White House. I mean, in a movie.
Just add movie.
Movie.
Clearly, they take that search word out. But my number 5, I went with X-Men: Days of Future Past. Also, my list was heavily influenced on yours.
Yeah, I figured.
Number 4 was 2012.
That's a good one.
Number 3, Olympus Has Fallen. Are we ranking the movies or the destruction of the White House?
I was doing the movies.
Okay. I think that's how I did it. But that just gave me the thought to if I would revise my list. But 3 was Olympus Has Fallen, 2 was White House Down, and number 1 is Independence Day.
All right. I like that list. All right, my honorable mentions, 2012 and Mars Attacks.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I haven't seen them in a while, though. I bet you they bump up there. But number 5, Olympus Has Fallen. 4, White House Down. 3, X-Men: Days of Future Past. 2, Superman 2, where Zod destroys the White House. And number 1, Independence Day.
Yeah.
And even if it was just how they destroyed it, I think
Independence Day still stays number 1.
Still number 1. White House Down would go to 2, though, for me.
That's what I was trying to think. And I think I did put them in order of how.
2012 might go up higher because they kill it with a tidal wave, and I think you see it.
Yeah.
Olympus Has Fallen. They don't really destroy. I mean, it gets destroyed.
It gets like beat up,
but it doesn't completely destroy.
Right.
So that would drop. X-Men: Days of Future Past would be probably behind 2012.
Yeah,
because he rips the whole Oval Office out pretty much.
Yeah. I was gonna say, I think was it Olympus Has Fallen where they collapsed the dome, or that's White House Down? No, it's White House Down. Yeah. So, and even then, that's a totally different.
Yeah, totally different building. Yeah. Let's see though. Yeah, so that would be my top 5 White House destruction movies. For our last segment, let's talk about the Geek News.
Because I do not have that intro. Actually.
Clark Kent, just a mild-mannered reporter.
He doesn't want to be famous, and I'll make him infamous.
General, haven't you ever heard of freedom of the press?
Well, I'm not a cop. I'm a reporter.
Gossip, rumors, panic in the streets. We're lucky.
Vicky Vale. I'm intrigued by Alex's giant bat story, so I've done some...
Oh, right. The Batman.
Nobody cares about Clark Kent taking on the Batman.
It is not. I resent that. Slander is spoken. In print, it's libel.
The police won't help. The press has to do the right thing.
You serious?
Are you not entertained?
Are you not entertained?
That actually works. I like that.
End it with that. Also, I was waiting for us to play that one because we should add the newsflash asshole. Maybe it should be the last thing.
That's good because we did used to have a segment called Newsflash.
Oh yeah,
but I think it would work. Intro somewhere.
Yeah, it worked perfect for
that
Geek News.
Yeah,
I'll have to see if I can find a clip
for the next one.
Yeah,
which we also have to talk about
intros.
Yeah,
I think. Yeah, we'll talk about it.
We'll talk about it.
Yeah, but
that's for later.
Yeah,
but for now.
First up on the docket, we have a buttload of CW Arrowverse news.
Strictly Arrowverse.
Yeah. As I was gone for the week, of course, it was like the busiest week.
Yeah, there was a lot. And I didn't like read every article because I kind of just want to wait and watch this beautiful masterpiece that they're going to be making.
I was just I wasn't reading like any of the
detail. I read the headlines.
Yeah, I read the headlines and then I would scroll through to see if because they're not really giving anything away. They're just saying who's casted. So I was trying to read all that. But this was actually one of the newer ones that happened this week. Katana will be returning to Arrow, and Roy Harper will not be a series regular. Right. I think so. He's still gonna be on.
He's
the
still
show?
Gonna be on because I think he was supposed to be in like this whole season because he came back last season or the season before.
Yeah, last season.
But yeah, he's not gonna be a series regular.
Yeah, but it's gonna be cool to see Katana again, which was awesome. But they had to get rid of her for Suicide Squad. So it'd be cool to bring her back. I think
which is great because there's no real DC movie coming out, so they could just do whatever they want.
Know, and this is like their end game. What they're saying, so it's gonna be awesome.
And it's gonna be 5.
I'm gonna say it again. I've said it a million times. Put the crossovers in theaters. I would pay to watch this in theaters.
Stephen Amell, why haven't you gotten back to us?
They're doing like 3 in a row, and then they're taking a break and doing the finals. I would go to the theater twice. I will pay $10 each time or whatever, $13.
I would absolutely go see it.
Fathom Events, get on that shit. I would even watch it again in the theater.
Oh after watching after they put it all together.
Oh yeah, just do that, or sell me a DVD of just that because
just the crossover.
It'd be great.
Also, it helps that Jim Lee is like being like, yeah, you guys can do whatever the hell you want.
Yeah,
he's kind of like, yeah, do it. But also, Brandon Routh will return to the crossover as a Kingdom Come version of Superman.
It's gonna be awesome.
That's gonna be so cool. He's gonna be back. Tyler Hoechlin or whatever
he's coming back.
His Superman's coming back.
I think whoever they got, the chick from Grimm, is gonna be back to play Lois Lane.
Lois Lane.
Yeah. So that should be good.
We don't have it on there, but they were talking. There's been so many reports like, oh, the Smallville guys are coming. And then Rosenbaum's like, I don't know what you're talking about. Yeah. He would absolutely just say that to...
True, I guess. So
it could be either way.
I think they're pushing to get them, though.
They have to. They used the theme song already.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I have that saved.
But Black Lightning is confirmed to make an appearance in the crossover.
That's cool.
So I wonder if they're going to completely combine them.
Or if it'll just be like...
We see them in...
This is over here.
Yeah, that's Earth.
It's a part, but it's...
Yeah, that's Earth, whatever. Yeah, I can't wait for these next two, though.
Oh, yeah. Kevin Conroy will be playing Batman.
That's going to be awesome.
Or will be playing Bruce Wayne.
Did you see the boss logic of him with Ace?
Yeah. Him just... Oh, man.
That would be... And then, could you imagine if they did that, and then you just got a glimpse... They don't even have to cast anybody, just a glimpse of the Batman Beyond suit or something.
Just like in the case behind him.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
That, or I mean, even if just a glimpse of just the gray suit, the original animated series
Any
suit.
of that would be fantastic.
Because we also have Mark Hamill playing the Joker.
That another one that's going to be crazy.
So I wonder if they're going to be on the same Earth or
like a trickster type because he's already in the universe.
Yeah, or we're going to get I think we're going to see a lot of different Earths. I think it's going to be, you know how they would do those flybys?
Right, yeah.
I think a lot of them are going to be that, but I think we're going to actually go to some of these.
A lot of the not smaller ones because these are all pretty big.
Yeah.
But ones where they're probably going to be like, let's put it in there for fan service and let's move on.
I mean, they have 40-minute episodes to fill up. So
don't they do them a little bit longer too?
I don't think so. I think it's all just because of commercials. They should.
They should just be like, screw the commercials.
I mean, we're getting 5 compared to last year. We had 3. I think the most we've ever had 4.
Wasn't last year 4?
No, it was only they got rid of. They didn't do Legends weren't in it.
Oh, that's right.
And
they did their own thing.
Black Lightning's never been in it.
Right. Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So this should be.
That'll be good.
Yeah, and I think Batwoman's confirmed as well. I think that's another one on the list that I didn't get.
So so they could put all of these plus. Burt Ward was also cast in the crossover.
Undisclosed.
Make him Alfred. I don't care. Put him with Batwoman.
Make him Alfred.
Put him in there somewhere.
Right. That'd be awesome. And then we also got the Crisis on Infinite Earths. I think I put.
I think it's Earths.
Earths. will be co-written by Marv Wolfman.
That name is...
Who also wrote the original 12-issue comic book stretch.
Oh, wow. So, yeah.
Yeah, him and, was it Greg, Guggenheim. What's his first name? Mark. Will be writing it together.
Ooh, that'll be good then.
So, yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah, that's...
I gotta read it still. I haven't read it.
There's a lot of stuff I have to read, yeah.
Yes.
Yes, and then the CW is also planning to debut a new Arrowverse series in 2020.
A lot of rumors,
like Arrow in the future.
Constantine.
Constantine, I heard
but then
they said, yeah,
he's sticking with Legends. Yeah, I guess I could see Arrow in the future with his daughter.
Yeah,
I would. I think they should go somewhere else.
They should go somewhere else. Give that a rest. Not that it's like people are worn out by it, but
but
people are kind of worn out by it, like with Arrow at least.
Yeah, do something new. I guess it depends on how Batwoman does, but everything they've added has been good so far.
Nothing has bombed at all.
Yeah, but I mean, we're finishing Arrow up. I think just leave it. It's going to be a fantastic finale.
Yeah.
So I would just leave it where it's at.
Exactly. Don't try and get.
Although I do like the future scenes are pretty good. Yeah. But yeah, I'd rather them just end that story.
Just have the story. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. There was some other rumors though.
There's rumors for my next point.
Yeah, next one.
But we'll continue with what your rumors were.
Besides the Smallville one, I did see that they want to bring back. I forgot what the actress's name is who played Supergirl in the movie.
Oh yeah.
They want to bring her back. I don't know if that was confirmed or not though.
Still, it would be one of those. Throw her in the Supergirl episode.
Yeah, right.
It's like it's not. I'm sure it's harder than we're making it sound, but it's like. Have her show up on set and be like someone who gets coffee.
Yeah, they want. Yeah,
and just like turns and winks. Is like, oh, hey, my name's Kara too. Something like that.
It'd be perfect.
Yes.
And they haven't announced if John Wesley Shipp was going to be in it though. But I feel like he's got to be.
I feel like he's in the last one. Oh, another rumor was that we will get a Green Lantern.
Oh, Diggle. It's got to be Green Lantern.
So I mean, with that, you got to get John Wesley Shipp.
Yep. And the guy that played Monitor is playing. Anti-Monitor as well. I saw that.
Monica Garrett?
sounds right, yeah. Yeah, but I mean I'm sure I saw some other rumors, but none seem too credible.
Which this is only...
I just want the Smallville one, though.
It's literally the only one that everyone wants.
Tom Welling said that he'd rather play Batman in the but I would be fine with that.
Fine, give him Batman.
But then you gotta make Rosenbaum Joker. Like you have to.
That would be fantastic. And then,
would even be better.
Kevin Conroy plays Superman, and
that'd be sweet.
Just totally swap
what is it? Rosenbaum. This is full. I'm just gonna hold this.
Right.
Rosenbaum, or if he played Batman, have him play the Arkham Batman, and then Rosenbaum's already what's his name, Johnny Charisma.
Oh yeah.
So and that's kind of like a Joker like that. If I just saw like a second of that, it'd be amazing.
Any of that would be sweet.
Yeah, but yeah, those are all the rumors.
Yes, and then we also got Titans Season 2 trailer,
which we see Bruce Wayne, Aqualad, Superboy,
Crypto, Deathstroke.
There was one more. I mean, Hawk and Dove are back. New suits. But all right, and then
Wonder
Jason
Girl.
Todd, and then they even mentioned like you and your Titans buddies. But they left. Did you finish it? You finished it, right?
Yes.
Okay. Well, they left
Okay. Yes. Thank you.
So then, it's got to be a time hop, or that's just like episode 5 is when we get that stuff.
It's got to be,
or it's
because also Raven's got a completely new look.
Something.
She's got her comic accurate look.
Or do you
like
think
the
like
the diamond and
or do you think they jump right into that? They don't explain anything, and
If
then we
they
find
don't-
out that that's just a different scenario that someone else is thinking about.
Oh, as long as they come back to that, because that was
Because it leaves you where
it was literally the entire thing the season was leading
what's
up
her
to.
Trigon has won pretty much.
He made it. He did what he wanted to do.
Yeah, so I can't wait. That's soon though.
It is
September
something. But they also rumored that maybe Titans would make a random appearance on the crossover.
Which
sure, why not?
If they're doing them,
If they're doing a multiverse,
they have all these Earths.
Technically, it's real then.
They have all these Earths. You could easily do clips of the Nolan verse.
Oh yeah,
Burton.
Just throw it in there.
Throw a clip in. Like, it doesn't even have to be them in like a new scene. It just be as passing by. Like I don't know.
Yeah, just walking in the street or something.
Yeah, and then you see Christopher Reeves as Superman, and then that just proves that all of it exists.
It's all in 1 year.
Oh, that'd be awesome.
Oh, that'd be so cool.
All right, but I think that's all of the DC talk.
I think so, yes.
This one I can't wait for. Simon Pegg and Nick Frost have a new Amazon show coming out called Truth Seekers, and they are playing paranormal investigators.
That's going to be hilarious.
Their version of Ghostbusters.
Exactly.
And like this is the first time we're getting them together in like leading roles together.
Right, for a while. Since World's End, yeah.
2013. I mean, they've been in each other's movies.
Right, but not their movies.
Yeah. So this will be interesting. And I believe they're doing dual duty of writing and starring. So that should be good.
And then, on the heels of last week's news, Universal cancels the Hunt release following the mass shootings.
Yes.
Which, yeah, I mean, they did say that they would still do, like, distribute the movie, like the DVDs and on
they don't
demand
know
and stuff like that. When, they don't know.
If they'll, or
if they will.
Yeah, they didn't.
They said
really
they would,
say.
but that could change in the next coming months.
This movie looked good too.
It did. There was a lot of people in it,
and it makes sense.
I totally understand it.
Yeah,
and it's one of those unfortunate situations, but
yeah, and then it got very political.
Yeah, it's
ridiculous.
It's a movie.
It is a movie. Yeah. Yeah, so that kind of sucks. But we'll see.
Yes, we'll see what happens with that one.
Okay, before we wrap up the episode, we'll look ahead to what's coming up for Tim and Tony. Talking about politics, actually. We'll be doing episode 112 will be Idiocracy with Luke Wilson and Dax Shepard starring.
Yes.
With Terry Crews as the president. Tony's never seen that one, so
I've never seen it. I've just seen like maybe
the clips,
2 or 3 second gifs of it, not like anything crazy from it.
I'm pretty ridiculous.
Based on the one, I am totally in.
All right, so that's been our show today. Hope you enjoyed it.
You can follow us on social media and our website, timandtonytalk.com. Remember, share this with your friends.
And make sure to join us next week for the Mild Manner Movie Review.
Same bat time, same bat channel.
Thanks for listening. I'm Tim.
And I'm Tony. We are the Dynamic Duo.
Good night.